Statement of Ms. Sara Jane Root, aka the smelly violent paedophile with a narcissistic, histrionic, borderline personality disorder accompanied by fabricated illness syndrome, having previously been a mental health patient with Medway's Children and Adolescent Services, when I hadn't in fact moved to Medway until my early 30s. I am also referred to as a loving mother of Damien and Chanel's adult siblings, and loving grandmother to one grandson, whom I adore, and vice versa. Medway Council's gross misconduct had led to myself being prevented from seeing him for approximately the first 4 years of his life, along with his mother, my daughter, Sara Root. I initially asked that her lady immediately read a copy of the local authorities' professionals meeting minutes, dated the 4th of October 2010. Medway Council have perpetually lied for the past 8.5 years, claiming each then child wished to terminate all forms of direct contact with myself, each other, their siblings, in fact their entire family. It clearly states the local authority's intention to apply for Section 34(4), not in fact being sanctioned until September 2014, along with a Section 9114, which is why I have recently published a copy of it online. The only person whom hasn't purged themselves for the last 8.5 years is myself. I also asked the court to grant me a serious case review to ensure that Damien and Chanel are granted justice after an 8.5 years long wait, and if my extensive bundle of evidence isn't sufficient for this court, then I wish to call upon and be allowed to question, as I stand here again as a litigant in person, Detective Constable Alexandra Smith, Detective Inspector Mark Noble, Social Workers Ms. Janet Weston Mullins, Mr. Ian Charles Scrivens, and of course Miss Kelly Ann Hopper, present here today, along with Lucy Conn, whom is the only one who claims to have seen Damien and Chanel in approximately the past 1.5 years, as they are no longer subject to a Section 31 care order, which only applies to under 18s. And lastly, I of course must question Damien and Chanel themselves, as they are adults, which is why Chanel instigated her own allegations of sexual abuse against me, which was of course just a sad fantasy, as she craves attention, and any attention is better than no attention. She also reported to her sisters at the age of 18 that she had had sexual relations at the age of 15 with her foster carer's son. I of course immediately reported her allegations to the police. Please have the local authority inform me of the outcome of that investigation, and why, if the local authority claim they must seek permanent anonymity to protect her, why have they not sought relief from the Court of Protection? And what powers do the local authority profess to have that gives them the legal authority not to have to exchange with me Damien and Chanel's current contact details, as the court has no such powers to keep us apart, in fact hasn't for some considerable period of time. All the above are lies, therefore I urgently request a judicial review, initiate criminal proceedings against the Medway local authority for libel and slander, for illegally terminating my direct contact without the court's authority, harassing me to the degree that it's detrimental to my health, which I struggle with on a daily basis, in addition to an 8.5 years long battle with the courts. I am now suffering from anxiety, depression, due to the grief of losing my younger 2 children, alongside my other issues being my low calcium level, my hormone level, excessive fatigue, reduced concentration, dramatic weight loss, severe headaches, and most recently being diagnosed with hypertension. I will never be fit to work again, emotionally or physically. I am in debt for thousands, which adds to my distress. I suffer from sleepless nights, nightmares. No doubt I will be diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, given the opportunity. Damien shall damn it for life, as are my elder 3. And believe me, they will never be silenced either. So if I was in good enough health to be sent to prison, you had better send me with my entire family. Unlike Mr. Eugene Luzjanenko, who is easier to silence due to only having one son, by sending him to prison, all Medway Council have achieved is giving him more publicity, even in light of the fact he almost killed himself in the process. All because Medway Council can't cope with his campaign against them. Perhaps you may like to ask me if I would embark on a hunger strike if sent to prison. I don't think I would last as long or cope as well as Mr. Luzjanenko. I asked the court to quash H.J. Polden's original injunction, that being Section 12 of the Administration of Justice Act 1960, Section 97, Children's Act 1989 reporting restrictions. Section 12 does not operate to prohibit the publication of contents of documents which are lodged at court or used in the proceedings which already existed. I will just read part of my statement. HHJ Polden's original injunction was sanctioned 6 months after the conclusion of Damien and Chanel's care proceedings. It should have become null and void on Damien's 18th birthday. For the reason being, HHJ Murdoch refused to extend it beyond the legal remit in 2014. Therefore, a conviction in those circumstances cannot be upheld, as the previous committal proceedings were not concluded until after Damien became 18. I also most carefully note Her Lady Justice Knowles' comments to keep it simple, stick to the facts, which I endeavour to do, and I most carefully rely upon the most recent judgment of Southend Borough Council versus CO. This is a very important judgment for all those parents that have lost children. May I go to the most important part? Under the Bill of Rights, it is illegal in this country to take away a person's legal right of freedom of expression. I have been gagged until my son is 25 years old, until my daughter becomes 26 years old. Medway Council has spent 8.5 years trying to silence me, to cover up the misconduct. My children were wrongly and illegally taken from me. All I wish is to see them, tell them that I love them, and to show them how hard I have fought for them. I'm nearly 54 years old. I'm not in the best of health. I don't particularly have much of a life. I don't particularly want one. All I want is a future for Damien and Chanel. The last address I have for him is 234 Grange Road in Gillingham with Bob and Avril Connolly. Can anybody assist me? Somebody must know something with regarding my son's whereabouts. My daughter Chanel, I believe she may have been in a care home in the Dover area. Perhaps she's in assisted housing in the Canterbury area. I have no real reason to think of myself any longer. I died inside the day they were taken from me. All I care about is knowing that my son and daughter have a future, that they are reunited with their family, with the mother that loves them, making me able to protect my daughter in particular. She's autistic, she has a deleted chromosome, she's vulnerable, she's been neglected, abused, allowed to be sexually abused, she's been horrifically treated. My case is absolutely horrific, along with thousands and thousands of others, but the difference being I have been gagged via an injunction and a non-molestation order until they've reached the age of 18. They are legally adults. It's absolutely sickening, disgusting, vile. Medway Social Service are sadistic cowards, and they must stop. This cannot continue. They have ruined my life, my 5 children's lives, even though my elder 3 are adults. 2 of them are parents themselves. They must be stopped. They must be exposed. Please read my judgments. Please read everything on my wall. Please be very concerned. I'm concerned for every parent in this country who has a child. It's no longer safe in this country to have children, especially if you lived in the Medway area. The address they were taken from was 216 Maidstone Road in Rochester. They seem to have just drawn a circle and taken several children in the vicinity in 2010, and it was all because of little baby Peter Connolly, because of their enormous mistakes, F-ups. They've taken thousands and thousands of children. Take my advice, follow my lead, publish everything, keep all the papers. They can't gag everybody. There isn't enough court time. And once again, everybody has my gratitude that has taken an interest in my case. Thank you. Thank you. Please, once again, does anybody have any idea of where my son is? His name is Damien Lee Root, born in 1998. Chanel Tiffany Root, born in 1997. Please, thank you once again. My gratitude. Thank you.